Hey guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to be reviewing Napalm Deaths from Enslavement to Obliteration. And in the background we're listening to Morbid Angels, Gateways to Annihilation. So yeah. Anyways, so from Enslavement to Obliteration, definitely my favorite Napalm Death album. I think this is definitely them at their most straight up, like, aggressive, this is definitely probably their most pissed off album. Enemy of the Music Business is also pretty fucking aggressive, but this one just has this, like, frustrated, like, just angry, like, furious tone to it that I fucking love. And this is really, like, one of the albums that got me into the more grindcore Napalm Death, because at first, when I was first getting into extreme metal, I heard Scum, and it didn't click with me for some reason. So I was already, I was into, like, hardcore punk and stuff, but I didn't want to I didn't go to a grindcore band looking for, like, crust punk and D-beat type stuff. Like how Scum has a lot of elements of that type of stuff, especially, like, D-beat, like, it has a lot of elements of, like, Discharge and stuff like that. And I wanted something that was more, like, fucking, like, death metal-y sounding, obviously. And that's how, like, the first Napalm Death album I heard that I liked was Harmony Corruption. And then I heard the album between them, this one, which is not really a transitional album, but this one's definitely more death metal-y than Scum. And it's less punky than Scum, but it's still a fucking straight-up grindcore album. And this is definitely my favorite from them, so yeah. It's a shame I don't have this on vinyl, but whatever. So there's the album cover. It's a pretty cool album cover. I have a long sleeve of this album. So that's pretty cool. There's the spine. Fucking pink. Kind of weird. I don't know. So pictures of the band. So of course, there are 27 songs, but this is a short album. It's like around half an hour long. But you got A Vault Does One. It's a Man's World, but Man's, and it's like an acronym like M-A-N-S. Lucid Fairy Tale, Private Death, Impressions, Unchallenged Hate, Uncertainty, Blurs of Vision, Cockrock Alienation, Retreat to Nowhere, Think for a Minute, Display to Me, From Enslavement to Obliteration, Blind to the Truth, Social Sterility, Emotional Suffocation, Practice What You Preach, Inconceivable, Worlds Apart, Obstinate Direction, Mentally Murdered, Sometimes, Make Way, Musclehead, Your Achievement, Dead, Morbid Deceiver, and The Curse. There's the disc. Kind of weird, like, I've never seen Napalm Death have, like, their logo like that, whatever. The same pictures on the back, I'm pretty sure. And you just got, like, lyrics and stuff in the booklet. Packaging's whatever. But that's not the point, obviously. The fucking music on this album is great. Raw production, it's not as, like, it's a lot more bassy sounding than Scum, definitely. It's a lot more, like overly bassy almost. Not like Recaputrefaction, but, like, pretty fucking, like, there's just a lot of low end on this album, but it's like a raw low end, though. It's not like a clean bass. It's like a really nasty kind of, not grimy, but, like, just very rough sounding bass, I suppose. Just very raw sounding bass. It's really loud on this album. And it mixes really well with the guitar tone and creates this really just dirty sound. It sounds very bassy and just really, like, thick. Almost overly thick and chunky. Not like a Scott Burns production chunky type of way, but like I said, like a really rough, like, gravelly kind of chunky. I know the vocal is from Lee Dorian, I believe. Right. Pretty sure this has the lineup in here. I'm really bad at remembering names. I guess not. I think it's Lee Dorian on vocals. His vocals on this album are great. They're very, like, they sound very muffled, and sometimes it almost sounds like he has his teeth clenched or he's, like, screaming with his mouth closed. But it's, like, really overly aggressive sounding, especially in songs like It's a Man's World. Impressions is one of my favorite songs on here. He just sounds fucking furious. The drums are just blasting and pretty fucking fast for their time. I mean, this came out in, what, 1988? So this is pretty fucking heavy for back then. And of course I was talking about the guitar tone and drum tone, just very aggressive. You can actually make out a lot of the riffs on here, as opposed to Scum, a lot of stuff you just can't hear. But yeah. The intro track, Evolved as One, sets the mood so perfectly for this album, though. It's just like a really slow instrumental with the vocalist just, like, shouting the words like "your weak minds" over and over, and he sounds fucking, like, deranged and insane and fucking pissed. And then it cuts into the actual first song, It's a Man's World, and it just sounds really aggressive, and it fits the tone of the whole album. This album sounds like outraged and furious and pissed about something, probably political reasons or whatever. Yeah, just really fucking, like, I don't know, just really just like barbaric sounding, but very like angry at the same time. And yeah, this album just fucking pushes everything away in its path. Every song on here is really great. But some of the standout tracks though are Unchallenged Hate has this really thrashy riff that's really fucking like catchy and sticks in your head a lot. It's a Man's World is another fantastic one. Lucid Fairy Tale has got some awesome riffs that are really memorable and pretty catchy, while still being really blunt and aggressive. Dead is a really like standout track on here because it's really fucking short. Like it's like the You Suffer of this album, except it might even be. It's maybe just like a millisecond longer, but it's about as short. Cock Rock Alienation is another great track. All the songs on here though are fantastic grindcore songs. Some of them aren't that memorable towards the middle to end of the album. That's not the point. This album's just something you listen to when you hear something loud and fast and pissed off sounding. And this is like just a very pissed off sounding grindcore album, really. And that's why it's my favorite Napalm Death album. Just because of how mad this album sounds. This album isn't, the thing about this album is it's not particularly like super dark or anything mad. It's just very like I said, very barbaric and overly aggressive, honestly. Yeah, just very muffled sounding, very bassy. Even kind of nasty sounding in some parts. But obviously very grindy. The vocals on this album are just maniacal. I really like his high vocals. They can sound kind of comical at times because they're so over the top, but they're still really like cool sounding. And then I really love his lows though, really death metal-y vocals, but they sound fucking like furious and like so mad. Like it sounds like an angry fucking dog snarling. It's so like just over the top in a great way. The vocals are really my favorite part of this album. And I really love Napalm Death's vocals in general, no matter who the vocalist is. But I think that Lee Dorian is the best Napalm Death vocalist. I know a lot of people like Bernie Greenway, and his vocals are fantastic as well. But this guy's vocals just are even more pissed off sounding and more chaotic sounding, definitely. Bernie Greenway's vocals are a lot more straightforward, just like barks. Well, this guy goes all over the place. He sounds like the fucking Tasmanian Devil with grindcore vocals. There isn't much to say. This is a difficult album to review because it's so simple. There's not really, like, all the songs are pretty fucking similar. But yeah, so Napalm Death from Enslave to Obliteration. I give this like a 9 out of 10. Probably like definitely one of my top 5 favorite grindcore albums. Probably my second favorite, maybe. Nothing's ever gonna top Pig Destroyer's Proud in the Yard, though. That's always gonna be my favorite grindcore album. But this is definitely one of my favorite grindcore albums ever, and it's my favorite album from Napalm Death. So yeah, Napalm Death from Enslave to Obliteration. Fantastic album. So that's it for this video, though. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you next time.